Hello, I'm Edna Varner, and I am thrilled to share some of the history of the Women's Fund of Greater Chattanooga and how our work has become increasingly critical over the years. Very early in our founding, I found myself in a room full of passionate women as part of the Women's Fund Network's annual conference. A handful of us traveled from Chattanooga to Atlanta to participate in this national gathering. The shared sentiment at the conference was how hard life continues to be for women when it shouldn't be. This deeply resonated with me, and I was reminded of my mother. And although she was not a single mother, I saw her being so strong in so many ways, and she had to do it on her own. And I thought, what if women didn't have to do it alone? What if these women, like my mother, had other women sharing their stories and bolstering each other through? It was the collective lived experiences of all those women in that room and their resilience and ability to overcome so many challenges while realizing the daunting challenges ahead. How much it would mean to each of them, to each of us, to face these challenges together instead of alone. It was in that room and the subsequent work of the Women's Fund which affirmed our commitment to be working together to lighten the individual burden. We've experienced a tremendous level of success since those early days, from championing statewide anti-human trafficking campaigns to big legislative wins. I'm proud to continue to see our vision in action. When I consider the legacy of the Women's Fund, at some point I want us to look back at what we've accomplished and barely remember how hard it was. I envision a day when it's difficult to remember a time when women were paid less than their male counterparts, when women were victims in their own homes, or a time women didn't even apply for some of the jobs or aspire to some of the things they desire for themselves. Part of this legacy will be our commitment to continuing to surface new challenges that have gone unnoticed or unaddressed. That anything that is still making life hard for women is still being addressed. When people think of the Women's Fund, they acknowledge that we have accomplished so much, but instead of resting on their laurels, they continue to address new challenges and champion worthy causes. My most important hope for the future of women and girls across our community and across our state is that the usual suspects who are always on the front line advocating for women will be joined by new faces, especially younger faces. That the usual folks who are ready to take the risk and be bold are joined by women who never considered themselves bold, but have now been emboldened. I hope that we all see ourselves important to this fight. I'm an educator, and I grew up in Chattanooga when our schools were segregated. Over the years, I've been one of the leaders of numerous collective intervention efforts, some more successful than others. And what has become clear is that there is a role for each group, each organization. When our community is hemorrhaging in many ways, here at the Women's Fund, our collective philanthropy helps to stop the hemorrhaging, mitigating the damage that has already been done. But our advocacy efforts address the root causes of these issues, so we aren't fighting the same battles year after year after year. Most importantly, we aren't fighting alone.